What the fuck is up, Vishal Nation? It's me, your best friend, Vishal. What's up? I think it's like day 11 or 12 of Please Don't Kill Us, and I was gonna make a super duper irony poisoned shithead, piece of shit video today, but I woke up and I was feeling a little bit more earnest about things. And so I wanted to make a video where I talk a little bit more straightforwardly about stuff related to stopping AI. Yeah, and so I'm just gonna film like a little reaction video and give a little commentary on this video by Tyler Alterman that he pushed out recently about the AI safety movement and its vibes, or like lack of vibes, or its grayness. This question about what's the positive vision of the AI safety movement. And yeah, let's like watch that together.
I'm interested in a lot of the language in the AI safety movement. Let's analyze it. So there's stop AI, freeze AI, pause AI, AI safety, control, existential risk, which is the threat of human extinction, stopping, controlling, halting. I find that's just not very inspiring. And I sense that this turns off a lot of potential allies of the movement. Yeah, I mean, if you look at other movements, like the environmentalism movement, it's not just stop climate change. There's also beautiful imagery attached to the vision of a lively planet. Trees, the color green, even just the use of that color is referring to a thing that it wants, the greening of the earth. That's a beautiful vision. What's the color of the AI safety movement? Right now, I think it's something like gray. People who want to build AI do have visions. They have the vision of creating something that's like a god, that solves cancer, that creates new scientific innovations, that gets us to outer space. An inspiring vision needs to be offered. In order to articulate that vision, we might have to let go of this goal of merely being safe. What's better than being safe? What is the actual thing that we're fighting for?
Okay, yeah, I mean, I think Tyler is like fundamentally correct about why, the sauce is so weak. Yeah, like this is the problem with negative vision, right? You just indicate everything that's wrong with a belief system without giving an overall gloss that this overall feeling that you're offering people something. I mean, this is the kind of problem with like the new atheism movement, for example, where, I think a little bit crudely, but I think basically accurately, Dan Dennett and Christopher Hitchens and Sam Harris and Richard Dawkins, like these four guys, they identified a lot of like really nasty tendencies in religion. And, a constant debate point that will be brought up by Christians, both serious and like cultural Christians, was that atheism like didn't offer people anything. Like it was either actively immoral or amoral at a minimum, right? It's just a lack. It's like a void. It's a hole. And Christopher Hitchens always had this line where he'd be like, yeah, that's true, atheism is all that, but there is a positive vision that goes under another label. It's called secular humanism, and that's where irony and morality and solidarity, love and poetry and romance and human relationships in all their glory, all that stuff, that's where all that goes. But the new atheist movement was more successful as a, frankly, like a Reddit phenomenon, a critique phenomenon, right? And there were all these attempts to make the like positive vision really take off. Like Dennett and I think Dawkins tried to make the bright movement, as like their positive movement. And then ultimately the new atheists kind of like split into the like woke and anti-woke camp. And, that's the really tedious, horrible culture war that we've been stuck in for the last like 10 years. So there's something about that positive vision that didn't quite work out. And to me, I'm like, rationalism is also kind of one of these things where there are a lot of positive rationalist values. When I say rationalist, I mean like Less Wrong and Yudkowsky and Soares and all this stuff. Early Less Wrong was all about like, winning and using rationality and like you using your mind and reasoning correctly to limit your biases and become stronger and et cetera, et cetera. And I think a lot of that positive vision has whittled away, I think rightly, because a lot of this was premised on Kahneman and Tversky's style insights about the limits, about cognitive biases and how you can limit their downside. But it turns out it's actually like really hard / impossible to actually eliminate these biases from your thinking. And most of the positive programs to eliminate bias, like that were done by rationalists, kind of never really took off, or faltered, I guess is a better way to put it at a certain point. And there are many other branches of positive vision that like rationalism went through, but really the stuff that at least that draws me to it still is like I think only the AI misalignment, the AI alignment problem cluster. If it wasn't for that, I think there wouldn't really be anything in rationalism worth keeping up with. Yeah, and so it seems like there's this general problem. Yeah, I mean that's just like an example of a couple examples of how there's this tendency towards grayness, like towards negation. So Tyler identifies this, but I wonder about his conclusion, because when I think about the positive visions you could offer in exchange, I don't think they're that obviously good. Like the first thing that came to my mind when thinking about when watching Tyler's video is Joe Carlsmith's essay on green and his series about deep atheism and greenness. A really nice, very passionate sequence of articles on Less Wrong about a lot of things as seen from the perspective of a alignment researcher who is a humanist, I think, in the old-fashioned way. And if I were to put it briefly, green is this idea. Well, it's building off of the like Magic the Gathering color wheel. I don't like board games, and so I don't really know much about this, but roughly in Magic there are 5 colors, and if you're the sort of person that likes doing personality quizzes, you might like use the color wheel as a means of like identifying different archetypes of the human psychology. So like white is like order and morality and purity and righteousness, and black is power and control of others and domination and the dominance of the self over the self and whatever, and blue is the mind and control and planning and long-term vision and scrying, and red is aggression and vitality and the principle of the self unleashed on the world. And green is what is green? Well, it's nature, it's growing, it's building up a lot of mana so you can drop big monsters onto your board. And so like Joe Carlsmith like sees the like atheism and rationalism and effective altruism as being kind of like white, blue, and black. White in its preoccupation with morality, black in its occupation with power and mastery, and blue with its rationality and its control and all these instincts, right? And optimization, reinforcement learning, it seems really one of those 3 colors, if anything. Like optimizer maximizes and it's gonna improve itself and it to achieve its ends, and it's going to grow and grow and grow and expand its own agency and its own power and so on. Many of the kind of principal thought experiments in rationalism and alignments like have this character of like agents that are going to converge on some values and maximize away and leave kind of nothing else in the world. Now, are there like principles, are there deep principles that can like staunch this instinct? Well, maybe green is that instinct. So green is like nature. Green is like balance. Green is the world in harmony. Green is like conservative. Green is not a maximalist. Green is a maximalist in that it grows and like everything is growing. But it's not a maximalist in that it's like, it's not one agent dominates over all concerns. It's this equipoise between different interests. And it's not pursuing an end. You know, I mean, this is it kind of like reminds one of the most tedious parts of like the like degrowth narrative of like, oh, you know, capitalism is this suicidal ideology that tells you that a finite amount of globe is capable of infinite growth and whatever, you know. And the Greens, you know, they want to like stop the growth, you know, and just the world will be fixed if everyone is satisfied with exactly how much they have, and we can stop growing the pie. We just need to split it evenly and whatever, you know, all that stuff. But it's true, there is like a broader principle, you know, a set of principles that maybe one can draw on that are green in aspect, and they're not like, they're not ideologically clean, and they're not like some target that you're optimizing aggressively towards. They're like some sort of principle of conservation. We want things to be slow. We want things to be balanced between many different interests. And it's hard to articulate that except to point to various visions and say like, okay, well, this is how the world stays in harmony. You know. It's kind of similar to like conservatism, like if you read like the essays of Burke or like Michael Oakeshott or whatever, these guys who are philosophical, political conservatives, or G.K. Chesterton and Chesterton's Fence and all this stuff. You see there like this in principle defense of taking things slow. And anyways, okay, so back to Carl Smith. So Carl Smith, when he's talking about green, he's talking about many things. He's saying like, well, I hope for my vision of the future to draw some wisdom from the green tradition. Not everything, because, you know, Greens, environmentalists do a lot of terrible things. Like if you look at the track record of Sierra Club and the way they've like destroyed nuclear power, even hydropower, the fucking Sierra Club, they were like, you know, in the 70s, they were really convinced by the population bomb. I mean, they put out not convinced, they put out the population bomb, they commissioned it. And this sets off a generation of hysteria about overpopulation and how it's going to destroy the earth. And now, you know, if anything, we're dealing with an underpopulation crisis, low birth rates. And in the meanwhile, their means of achieving this end of making sure that there weren't not any more humans on Earth, is that they destroyed nuclear power in California and did all these like terrible things with regard to like foreign aid and so on. So yeah, environmentalists do a lot of terrible things from the perspective of like helping people live good lives. But maybe there's a lot of wisdom here, especially if you're like mathy, STEMmy, like I'm optimizing. Everything in the world is an optimizer, just like me. We're trying to get the best. You know, if you're too much like that, if you too much like are locked into thinking in only that way, you see the whole world as having no greenness. And so maybe the ways that people are imagining future artificial intelligent agents to behave is like really dictated by this lack of green imagination. So maybe we need to like identify green values and then pass those on. Okay, so that's kind of greenness, poorly explained. I mean, you should really read Carl Smith's essay, because it's really an essay about everything. It's an essay for everyone, I think. So so my first thought on watching Tyler's videos is to think that, okay, maybe what AI alignment and AI safety people need here is the vibe of green, solar punk. What can the futurist offer the ordinary person? What can the tech bro safetyist offer to the ordinary person? We want to give like a pro-growth vision of the future, where people are healthier and living longer and are oriented well towards new technology. But we also don't want to be like saying like, okay, well, the one technology that seems to be growing explosively and is like giving all these like promising visions of like an unstuck future, you know, ending the great stagnation, artificial general intelligence. In trying to stop that, it seems like the vibes are like, well, okay, let's just be stuck in the great stagnation forever. And like, why would a reasonable person who like has these dreams of living in the culture, or like dreams of like a post-scarcity future, like why would they stop working at Anthropic or OpenAI or shit posting on with Mark Andreessen and Jason Calacanis or whatever on these like horrible podcasts? Like why would they stop doing that to listen to like the do nothings, the mentally ill rat doomsters who see, you know, the biggest innovation in human history incoming, and they were just freaking out and imagining terrors, you know? Like why follow that? You know, maybe the answer is like you become green, you offer the green vision of the future. I don't know, like the solar punk vision of like, you know, we build abundant energy, but we like balance our concerns with nature and with human nature in particular. We don't accelerate into a future where we like dump like 100 trillion agents into the world with values that are slightly different than ours in weird ways that we don't have a means of predicting accurately. Instead, we have like a human future, a human integrated future where, I don't know, maybe we're like not factory farming anymore, and like there's going to be so much more beautiful flourishing on Earth, and there's economies are growing at like, I don't know, maybe 3% growth. Maybe we're doing a human intelligence amplification, and we're like using IVF and other like reproductive advances in reproductive technology, like make, you know, future generations like healthier and smarter and more robust and like, I don't know, like taller, whatever, you know, like elf children, awesome, whatever. I mean, like, yeah, there are just a lot of different frontiers of technology that are being pushed forward. It's just like you're going to push them forward slowly. Maybe human lifespan goes up like 20 years over a century instead of like, you know, ASI comes, and if it's aligned, we like live forever, you know. So I guess the problem there, which you may be feeling as you're listening to me like laying out all these like possible different futures, is that it's like a collection of very different vibes, right? Even just trying to describe a green non-AI future, a non-AI century, there are just so many different vibes. You know, some people just want the world to look and feel like America in the 1990s or something. The whole world, you know, everyone's like kind of safe and just like playing video games or whatever. I don't. I want there to be like a crazy transhumanist future where we're like very different. We're growing into better, you know, more better, you know, different things. I have all these beliefs, and I don't think they converge very hard on with many other people's visions of like what a great future is. Either they're religious or, you know, I don't know, they're just like normie artists or something, and they like want like everyone to have healthcare and like want everyone to like, I don't know, be able to go to a bookstore and eat cool ethnic food or something. I don't know. That's their vision of like a great life. My vision of great life is like we're like living 10,000 years long and, you know, singing the virtues of the ages and what, you know, whatever, you know, like, I don't know, I'm a freak, you know, I'm a freak. And so I can't really go around saying like, oh, well, the deep future is going to be so awesome because it's going to look like this, like crazy, like sci-fi adjacent thing that I think is way better than the current state of the world. Because that's going to put people off, and not only just put people off, but it has nothing to do with the commonality that we have in our grayness of all wanting AI to be, like artificial general intelligence, to not take over the future from human hands. And so the grayness of the alignment movement is like both a problem, as Tyler's pointing out, but also a virtue. It's a virtue because it allows me to say, well, as long as you have any hope about any vision of how the future should go, it's compatible with being a doomer. You know, it's compatible with this vision. And so that grayness is not bleakness, it's neutrality. It's neutrality towards many visions. And so I can have this broad tent, you know, between we can have this broad tent that says, okay, well, you people have this very specific dream of the future where, I don't know, everything looks like Europe, Western Europe or something, and me, who has this very weird vision of the future with different values and different types of organisms interacting, and we all commonly don't want there to be a misaligned artificial general intelligence and a misaligned singularity. So I don't know. I mean, like, I don't think it's a good idea necessarily to be spending a lot of energy trying to reorient the vibes of the misalignment messaging around a specific positive vision. In conclusion, subscribe to my Substack.